This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
The following program is rated for mature audiences. It may contain adult language, adult situations, and frank safety discussions. The names and certain details have been changed to protect the safe and the unsafe. But believe me, every item in here is true. Last episode, we talked about you, that is, the listener there, becoming a person of influence in your organization, a leader. Just as important as what we talked about before, it's important that you identify those people of influence in your organization. Identifying people of influence, today on Safety Wars. Why do you need to identify people of influence? It's easy. It's a life hack. What's a life hack? It's a strategy or technique adopted in order to manage one's time and daily activities in a more efficient way. If you identify leaders in your workplace, then concentrate on them. They will influence the people that they are leaders of. It's sort of like a CEO coming down with marching orders. The managers then direct the work to comply with whatever the CEO's directions are. They will influence the rest of the workforce. Remember, you're not the CEO, you're the safety person. So you need to become a leader without authority almost every time. How do you identify leaders? I realize that these may be like opposites. Sometimes they are. Here are some of the ways. It could be the most experienced person. It could be the most inexperienced person. It could be the one that is bilingual. It could be the one who is not bilingual. It could be the veteran. The one who is college educated, the one who isn't college educated. My favorite, the one who drives, especially if you have a bunch of people carpooling. The one who signs the paychecks. The foreman, the shop steward, the scheduler. And one of my all-time favorites, what my grandfather told me. He said, Jimmy, if you ever find yourself working on a boat like me, there are two people that will make your life miserable if you are on their bad side. The captain, of course. The second one is the cook. It took me 25 years to realize how true it was. Piss off the cook, and you're not getting any food that you like. If you are dealing with a situational awareness situation or insecurity, it's critical that you recognize the alpha, who's the leader in your situation. That way you're better able to assess threats, and you can see how they're directing things, possibly. Now that you found out who the leader is, you work with that leader to influence everyone else that leader has influence over. I found that for every trade on the job, there are usually 2 or 3 leaders. Now, instead of influencing 30, 40, 50 people, you now influence 1 or 2. Let them take care of the rest. This makes your job a lot easier. It makes fighting the safety war not about fighting people, but fighting the hazards and other negative influences. Making your organization safer, saving lives. Leadership is influence. Identify who the influencers are and become one yourself. For Safety Wars, this is Jim Polzel.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.